All right. I want to welcome everybody tonight, and maybe you're going to be watching the recording of this. But Maria and I decided that we were going to do a Zoom meeting rather than Facebook, Facebook Live. And one of the reasons is this way we can do it at our home. We don't have any technical glitches like we used to when we're trying to merge Facebook Live with her Facebook Live in at her home, and it was just a little more chaotic in doing that. And so we decided just to go forward and do the Zoom meeting, and this would enlighten people in the numerology. So, it's great to be doing this. We're going to do this every 4 to 6 um, weeks, depending on our schedule. We have lined up the entire year for this. So the next one is actually in 6 weeks. But yeah, it's just this is a nice way of having people also come on this that are not on social media, don't have to go to the Facebook group in order to join this. So yeah,
Sounds wonderful.
yay. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, just trying to simplify things for the year. And considering that we're coming into we're in a year nine, which is a completion year. So just trying to simplify things, I mean, within the group. And, we've been doing this now for, it's definitely over a year. It's been about a year that we've been
The
doing this.
group? No, I don't think so. I think we started the group in either March or April.
So we're getting
Yeah, yeah.
close to the year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just looking, seeing what works for people, what works and what doesn't work, and fine tuning things. So I think this is a great idea, and expanding this to outside of social media, because I know for myself, I know people that aren't on social media,
Right.
and that would include some of my connections in business and personally. So opening this up outside of the social media, for anyone that's interested in learning about this incredible tool, divination tool of numerology,
Mhm.
and see how things unfold. So,
Yeah.
hmm
I just something popped in my head, and I thought maybe this is a good idea going forward. We'll do a few of them first before we end up going onto another platform. But I can always upload these Zoom recordings onto
too.
YouTube.
Uh,
So I can put it on YouTube, or you can put it on YouTube,
YouTube, we
or
both could. That's right. I didn't
yeah,
even think of that. Good
yeah, we
idea,
could
Laura.
up, yeah, we could upload it. Yeah, you just need the link, right, to upload it onto your YouTube.
Good question.
Yeah, because that's
The
all I
video.
would need.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would only need the
Yeah, you're
link
right.
to upload it onto, yeah, so yeah, both of us can put it on our YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I'd
and
have to try that.
utilizing the YouTube portion of it is always a good idea as well. So I did that consciously creating 2020 your 2025.
Mm,
And how it was is it was a free online summit. There was 15 speakers.
mm.
And with this 15 speakers, Sam Black, who hosted it, put it on her YouTube. So
Oh,
everything
perfect.
is free. I'll send you the
Great.
link to that.
Yeah.
There's like 15 different people speaking
So
on it, so it's great. So it's a good platform for people actually to house your videos on.
excellent.
So yeah, I really like that. And we both have a YouTube channel, so we want
Yeah.
to utilize it for this and whatever other endeavors that we do. You use your YouTube quite often, right?
I do. I do. So I've started using my channel for providing information techniques, for anyone
Hmm.
who's looking to develop. there's, in the space of the unconscious, subconscious minds, healing, release, things like that. So in
Yeah.
my area of expertise, but I'm at a transition point because what I was doing is I was doing the YouTube lives. And I found that if you're wanting to say, for example, promote one of those on a marketing platform, it's very hard to convert a live link into embedding it into a marketing platform. So I think what
Okay.
I'm for this year, and this is what I've already started promoting on my Facebook page, that I'm going to pre-record and upload the videos to YouTube because those pre-recorded videos are much easier to upload on various marketing platforms. So, and I was doing weekly lives, but I think I'm going to transition into doing that bi-weekly, so every other week.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a little bit of changes like us, just seeing what works and, still kind of learning the ropes, especially YouTube is another um, platform that has a lot of, it's a bit of a learning curve. So just seeing
Yeah.
what works and whatnot. But I think that that's what I'm going to be doing is having accessibility, being able to upload the videos into YouTube is easier if you're looking to invest in different marketing platforms and you want to highlight, say, a certain video.
Right.
The live stream links are different than, say, a Zoom link and another type of or a video upload.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the lives are wonderful when you have a really established following and you have a lot of people that are interacting and you're busy in
Right.
that sense. So I think it depends on where you're at. So with me just launching a few months ago, not quite there yet. So I
Yeah.
mean, the lives are always an option for, later on. But
But yeah,
interesting.
the pre-recorded is a good idea, and then you can upload it on
Yeah.
there. And, so yeah, I mean, we can do that right straight away, or we can wait
Mhm.
till we get a little more um comfortable with doing these and then uploading
Yeah.
as a
So by
discussion.
all means,
Because
yeah.
we're discussing like different things that we're doing for the
Mhm.
group, right? In between like what we do. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so I was going to say for anyone who's watching the recording, we are definitely open to taking any suggestions in terms of, content topics. So in our group, we're always stressing this. So if there's anything in particular you're wanting us to talk about, because this is a new platform and we're opening this up, we might end up having some of our old YouTube, Facebook lives. We might repeat some of those topics of interest
for
for
sure.
moving forward. So we're definitely open to suggestions on topics. We're open to hearing your feedback. So anyone who is watching this and is interested in learning and would like and are looking for answers on a specific topic, if you're not joining us and you have questions, again, we'll be providing our information, and you'll be able to connect with either both of us or either of us, and yeah, and go from there. So,
Hmm.
hmm
Yeah, perfect. All right.
yeah,
So, um, I guess we just do a brief introduction and then get into the subject matter.
beautiful. Sounds
Okay.
wonderful.
So, hi, I'm Laura Canal. For those that are watching the recording, my business is called Miles Smiles Alternative Solutions. I am a practitioner that does reflexology, energy healing, numerology, and astrology. And I use all of these tools to help you open up and be the best person that you can be and, change or transform to the best version of yourself.
Beautiful. Love it. And my name is Maria Sposito, and I am the founder and owner of Revolution 9. And I am your psychic healer, trainer, and release guide. I use the beautiful tools of hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neurolinguistic programming, um, numerology, and also my intuitive gifts, in conjunction with, my trained skills sets. And I more or less help people to more or less get unstuck, learn how to be the best version of themselves, and transition from being from where they are to where they want to be in a space of power and light. So, in a nutshell,
Perfect.
thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So our discussion for tonight was the universal year number, and which is 9 for 2025. And then if there's any other questions after we go through this, then yeah, feel free to ask questions if, yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, feel free to
Hey,
ask questions, Scott, anytime if you'd like to speak up and maybe stop us as we talk. By all means, share away or ask away.
ask away. Ask away. It's like a castaway. All right. So I did a couple of articles prior to 2025, entering 2025, and I had some downloads of information that were quite quite refreshing compared to like what 2025 is the universal year 9. But what I came up with, because I've been doing this since 2020,
Mhm,
and so 2020 was a double awakening. 2021 was awakening to the truth.
mhm,
2022 was awakening to building a new life.
mhm.
2023 was awakening to freedom and, finding the courage to move forward and shift. 2024 was awakening to a rebirth in our lives. And 2025 is awakening to the spirit within.
Oh,
Oh,
love that. Love it.
because I looked at the 20, right? Awakening.
Mhm.
25 is, connecting to that spirit within, whether it's historically looking forward, looking backwards, because it's all about history. And yeah, that's it. That's what I came up with. So yeah,
Well, and it makes sense because if you're focused on the 25 roots to seven, and the seven is a very spiritual, the lightning insights, and it's a very intuitive and spiritual number. So it really makes sense. And then with the 20, it really does. It flows with the download that you got. So sounds
yeah,
wonderful.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I figured. I figured it flowed really well. And just going to mention that today is the new moon in Cancer,
Mm,
and it was at 5:27 this evening, just a few hours ago, exact. And um that is all about going within. It's all about, really looking at your internal um navigation systems rather than external. So, and it's funny because we were talking before
mm,
about the chart, and the chart is all what we call the southern hemisphere,
mm,
and it's all about the outer world and looking at the outer world. And with Mars right next to the moon in Cancer, Mars is in retrograde and will be in retrograde till the end of next month, February. And it's really putting more of an emphasis on that going within as well.
mm,
And when we started all this just before the new year, Mercury was in retrograde and then just went forward just around Christmas time or just before. And so that's also anytime a planet is in retrograde, it is about reflecting. So yeah, but I
Beautiful.
find that the change of right now we're having a change of the lunar nodes from Aries and Libra to Pisces and Virgo.
Mm,
So that's a big shift to our health. Looking at our health and um, the health of our personal health, emotionally and mentally.
mm,
So Pisces is more on the emotional level, Virgo is more connected to the mental level.
mhm. Excellent. Love
Hmm.
it.
A little bit of astrology in there with the
Yeah,
numerology.
there you go. Well, you know what? And that's the thing with the taking our courses through Tanya Gabrielle, you kind of she focuses more on the numerology, at least for the first level, but
Hmm.
she does incorporate the numerology aspect and introduction into the astrology aspect, right?
Hmm.
With a main
Hmm.
focus of the numerology. But you've been in the astrology space for many, many years.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, for me, I'm more on the number side of things where you kind of have the blend of the two. And I've been learning vicariously through you, so it's all good. It's been
Yeah.
interesting to have that understanding and it works. Like the numerology really does work with the astrology aspect and those are just added layers on top of. So if you're somebody that is really into astrology, understanding the numerology aspects and understanding your birth chart and the numbers that are associated to those charts,
Hmm.
really give you an added layer of information about yourself, about your clients, about your family, your kids, your spouses and whatnot.
Right.
So everything is just information on top of information. So that's what I find, it's just another added layer, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. It's been a really interesting journey to say the least. Learn
Yeah.
these beautiful tools of within the spiritual space, you know, really interesting.
With the new moon in Cancer, it's all about home and family.
Mm,
And there's some dynamics in there with, especially with Mars can be very aggressive, and the different dynamics with Mars and the moon. Moon is the mother. So
that's
it's
right.
funny, I was listening to a take on it. Oh, Molly McCord, I listened to her a lot. And she was saying the dynamic between um Mars and the moon was a mother and son, and then Saturn and what's next to Saturn? Saturn's in Pisces with there's a conjunction. Oh, probably Pluto.
Mm,
No, it wasn't that one. Anyways, it's the father and the daughter. Oh, Venus. It's with Venus.
yeah.
With the father and the daughter. So there could be dynamics in this time period between the different intricate relationships that we have within family.
Mm, interesting. Good to note.
Yeah.
There's always something going on with family.
Yeah, always.
Yes. Beautiful. So I guess we could start chatting about the year nine. So the
You
year
can, I'll let you take away some of the year nine
Yeah,
specifics.
well, we both have the nine within our codes. So I have to say the nine, I love all my codes. I'm like for looking at the main three, my life path, my day of birth is a 31-4. Um, my life path or life purpose is a 33-6. And then my destiny is a 72-9. So I do resonate with all four of them, and they really show up in a lot of aspects of who I am and in my life. And Laura would actually agree to that. And
Hmm.
yeah, and so would you, Scott. So The nine is a beautiful number. To me, the biggest thing for me with the nine, especially being in a cycle year nine, is the completion. And it's interesting because it's like when I look at it, it's not like it's an ending of something. It's almost like it's the next chapter of a book that you're reading, right? So you're coming to that end. It's coming to the end of that 9 year cycle. And for me, like, I'll just speak on how I'm preparing and how I'm using this number for this year is with the completion aspect, which is so pivotal, is you really want to be cognizant of really purging, in terms of letting go of the things that are not serving you, whether that's people, you know, clients, family members, events, and these are on the external aspect. So anything that's not serving you externally, but you also want to be focused on the internal, where that's it's easy for us to purge and change things within our external world, but you really want to focus on also the internal stuff. So looking when you're looking at the mind, for example, your subconscious, your unconscious stuff, your patterns of behavior, your strategies, your limiting beliefs, really knowing your beliefs, knowing your values. And are these aligned to who you are now and where you want to go? Or is there behaviors or are there strategies or patterns that are not serving you? So you really want to look at the internal, you want to look at the external, and you really want to make those changes, because at the end of this year, should you still be holding on to those things that are not serving you to your highest good, that will follow you into your year one. And not to say that you can't make changes, but the thing is that the chances are, if you're bringing in things from a year nine, that you've carried forward from probably the last 9 years into your year one, chances are it's still going to follow you through, you know, those next, that cycle, the next 9 years. So you really want to take this time. And I know for myself, I've already started making some, I've alluded to you and Scott, that some changes that I want to make for this year in terms of business, things that I want to do, and really focus on getting to the root, and that's what I say in my field, is getting to the root of those things that, again, that are not serving you in your highest good. So that is, for me, is one of the pivotal things in a year nine that you want to focus on. And that's the one area. The other area for me, it's also, the nine is the humanitarian number. So it's kind of, how can I do service, service to humanity, service in a way that, giving back. So I've already started putting some things in place in that aspect as well. So hopefully things will come into fruition. I've already started putting some plans together of some programs, 1 hour program things that I want to do as a give back, and reaching out, to different organizations, and following in that space, and kind of, for me, it's always like, as you know, I'm very systematic. You would know that, Laura and Scott. So my mind is always like, okay, I want to be able to do something in a way that is, that is going to be able to provide that value. At the same way, I like to try to, I guess you could say, multitask and try to create, multiple things that, okay, this is the intention and this is where the focus is. However, if this could flow into this area and this area, and kind of, utilize that in multiple different ways, I guess that's the strategic side of being a Capricorn, and being a four is that
Yeah.
strategic side. So yeah, so it's, that humanitarian is like, how can you serve? How can you give back? And that's also another very big part of the nine is that humanitarian element. So, so by all means, Laura, I can't wait to hear what you have to say in this perspective. Which it'll be different. It'll be a little bit different. I know
It's
you
a little
agree
bit
with me, but
different,
it'll be a little bit different than me.
a
And
little
that's
bit.
the beauty in this is that um, Laura and I have such different perspectives, but they align and they're kind of the same, but we kind of look, our minds work a little bit differently, you know, and that's the beauty in it is that there is no right and wrong, you know. Like they say, there's no right and wrong, it just is. And
Mhm.
every perspective is right. Each number has its own vibrational entity to it. However, you know, if something resonates with you and some like one of us might not say it, doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong because there's so many different perspectives. And that's okay because if that resonates with you, that's what resonates with you. It's not
Mhm.
black and white, and that's the beauty in these spiritual modalities is that nothing is in black and white. So,
Right.
mhm.
So for number nine, for me, it was in the 9 years cycle. Number nine is all about the celebration, celebrating what you have accomplished, what you've gone through, what you see. Because one thing that I've been looking at personally for myself, because yes, we have the universal year nine, we also have personal years as well. But for the universal year nine, I always look back to 9 years ago. Where was I here at 9 years ago? Where was I in 2015? What happened? How did the cycles all culminate together? So the year nine, it's celebrating where you've come from, 9 years ago to where you are now. What does life look like? How is it? And because the number nine, I always talk about the number nine as the way the number nine looks. So it's on a stick and it's got a big head. So it's all about the wisdom keeper, the wisdom with what we learned throughout the 9 years in the knowledge and learning new things to be that, okay, I think the big catchphrase is the next version or the best version of yourself, right? Because where we were 9 years ago to where we are today is totally different. The other thing is, so it's all about the wisdom of the ages and the group consciousness creation is something that is about the number nine, right? Not maybe necessarily the cycle nine, but the number nine itself. And both Maria and I have the number nine in our cycle. My day of birth is the number one. My life path number is a 27-9, and my destiny number is a 14-5. And so it's all about that group consciousness and creating. So I can see that the group consciousness will be a huge part of supporting others. And with me and Maria both being here, yes, we talk about a myriad of different subjects as we're talking about tools to help you move forward and talking about the universal year nine, because I believe that people need more than ever need support from those, you know, like us. You know, where do I go now? What is my purpose? Um, you know, in watching for years and years, I never watched the news, but I do find value in knowing what's going on in our world and finding value in what's happening and how this is all unfolding for other people so that we can, do meditations, sending, healing to people in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, or sending healing to people in Tibet or South Africa with the floods. there's so much things that are going on. So the group consciousness I can see will be unfolding more. And I've been getting downloads myself about creating more of different groups, different meditations, maybe even online. But even, we noticed in 2020 when we were doing the group meditations, and I was doing them with a bunch of people that throughout North America. A lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends are from New York City, and we were pulling together and sending healing to different, different people, to the New York hospitals and what have you at the time. I can see that there's going to be a creation for this year. People are feeling fearful of, what's happening, what happened, and now what does the future look like? So, this is one of the big things that I see for the year 9. And then, like I said, in the personal years, being in year 6, Maria's same. She's caught up to me.
Yeah.
I changed in June. She
Yeah.
she catches up to me in December.
Yeah. There we go.
So, in being in that year 6 and taking that responsibility of what we're here for, you know, in helping other people move forward, I think for myself, I think I'm going to be using YouTube a lot more in the distribution of different ideas that I'm getting and helping people with moving forward with, staying in the present moment when your whole life is just crashing down around you, right?
Yeah.
Um, During the consciously creating that I just did a summit, um, and I think it was in the recording of the last night where we all got together, and there was questions posed to us. And what would you do, or what would this tool say be when um you're in a stress and tension, so much stress and tension that you don't know, where to turn? And my answer was the experts. So it was funny because Maria knows this, and I'm going to tell the story. It was about can't remember, it was just before Christmas. Anyways, I think it was the 19th of December or 20th. Yes, right. I wanted to go to the dollar store. I needed to get wrapping paper. I wanted to wrap these gifts for my grandchildren and get home and blah, blah, blah. So I go to the dollar store, no problem, get in my car, and my window sill wiper in the back just went like this. And I heard this, look to the back, and I'm thinking in my head, what happened to my window sill? What happened to my back window? Is there a window there? What is all this funny looking stuff, crystals behind? And I'm like literally kind of freaking out inside myself, not sure what I'm looking at. And where I was and where I was going was home. But halfway between the dollar store and my home was the mechanic. So I went to the mechanic and talked to them about it. And the mechanic gave me the guy that does window sills out of there. Give me the card. I went home. I started vacuuming things up. It's the first day that it's a slushy snow, and I have no window in the back and Christmas presents full of glass. So instead of getting upset, instead of, going to that space of fear, I went, asked the expert, went home, figured it out. Of course I cried. Of course I cried because it was kind of like a tension release that you needed to cry. And then got it all together, had the busiest day the next day from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The guy called me back while I was cleaning up things at the car, And we arranged everything. I dropped off the car the next morning. He dropped it back off to me by 1 o'clock. So literally not even 24 hours. And because I stayed in this calm, it all got figured out and done in 24 hours. I paid nothing on my insurance, but yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
excellent. Wow.
Do you
You
know what I
never told
mean?
me
Like,
that story.
what's that?
You never told me that story.
Oh, I did it?
No, this is like news to me. So I'm like, wow.
Oh, I thought I did. Oh, no, I didn't see you in December.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't see you in December. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the
Our
next,
schedules, remember my schedule changed because I came in the
that's
Friday. I
right.
came in the Friday the week after that week that you, yeah.
That's
So that's when it
right.
happened. That's right. And then the
So
week after I took the day off because it was my birthday,
that's
the 31st,
right. That's
right?
right. Okay, so you never heard that story. Oh, that's so funny.
No, no, so
So,
that's news. There you go. But that's a beautiful, beautiful story in terms of, yeah, being state managing, and that's the
yeah.
thing.
So
That's
what do
such
you
a
do? You
key.
go to the expert. You
Yeah,
need, something, then you go to the person that will help you with that. And
yeah,
it's funny because, yeah, then the next week, yeah, there was a lot of funny things that, were kind of about ending, or there was security. And then it was actually telling me to listen to my intuition.
yeah.
Watch your back, listen to your intuition. And then the next Wednesday, that was on a Wednesday that happened. It was actually a Tuesday, and then no, it was on a Wednesday when it happened. That's right, because I worked on Thursday. I said it was a Friday. Anyways, it was a blur. It was a week before Christmas, and the whole thing was a blur.
Yeah,
And it was
exactly.
like it got figured out.
Yeah.
So the next thing that happened 1 week past that was or maybe okay, whatever. I might be getting the weeks a little bit confused in there, but oh, the week before that, what happened was a skunk died in my backyard.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
So I said to my daughter was in the house. She goes, "Well, what do you do with it?" I go, "I don't know. What do you do? What do you do with it?" And she's going like, "I don't know." She goes, "Well, let me call Katie. Katie works at the Humane Society." I
Sure.
go, "Okay, call Katie." So Katie was at home. And she goes, "No, we don't pick up skunks." And then she went on the region. And if a skunk dies in your backyard, not your front yard, because then they'll come pick it up because
Yeah.
it's the front yard, but backyard, you have to dispose of it yourself.
There you go.
So I dug a hole, and I had this really nice um, bed of leaves that I put in it, and then I buried it in my backyard underneath my oak tree. I
Oh,
think it's a part of protection, but it's also there for insights, and it's there to help because they're very, very protective, but they're a very docile creature, and I don't mind. I never mind skunks in my backyard. I pre-warned everybody that came to my under the oak tree meditations that I used to get visits from skunks, but maybe I won't anymore because maybe they're gone.
maybe. Very good.
So funny. Anyways, that is how you deal with stress and tension, not going to a place of fear, but a place of, realization and asking the expert.
Yeah, and that's a great that's also coincides with the cycle year 9, with having that being able to state manage, and like you said, being able to just act instead of react, and
Yeah.
be able to just flow into different situations, whether they are a high vibe or whether they are obstacles. And it's being in that space of seeing the bigger picture. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. And yeah, so that's beautiful.
I think that comes from my many years of wisdom.
Yeah. There you go.
Instead of
I
freaking out,
I
so
would
what do I
agree with
do
that.
now? I'm a homeowner, what do I do now? Okay, well, let's just do that, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
And we're done.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all.
So if you're freaking out and you're under tension, just think about what you can do. Take a step back,
Yeah,
breathe a bit, and then,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking, like with considering that I the year 9 began, January 1st. Januaries tend to be a bit of a stressful month.
Mm,
Um, there's a few months that within the year, but and that's the thing where I think the best thing to do is being in the present moment, and that's what I'm that being in that present and just being in that space of just taking it one step at a time. And I find that, and it sometimes it is a little bit of mental work, right? Because
mhm,
like you, I don't really I've started over the past few years embracing, like you said, you get into that moment, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to release, and
oh,
cry.
for sure, for sure.
That's not crying is not usually my go-to, but over the past, I'd say about 3 years, 4 years, and the work that I've been doing, probably even longer. No, it's probably been about 5 years, is embracing that vulnerability and
Mhm,
embracing that all emotions, even the negative emotions,
mhm,
are good to embrace because um, when you're not allowing yourself to feel on all levels, and you're just say what like my go-to, especially with the negative emotions, is, oh, you know what, I'll deal with this later. And it's like you're sweeping it under the carpet.
right.
um, Over time will have its repercussions and will definitely have its effects on your mental and emotional, which could lead into physical well-being, because we know that anything that has to do with your mental and emotional health will
Mhm,
eventually, if not released, will eventually lead into your physical manifestations. Right.
absolutely.
So being able to just be in the present and, acting instead of reacting,
Mhm.
that was beautiful. So thank you for that share. That's a really
You're
great.
welcome, yeah.
And the group consciousness, you know what? That's a really big one for me as well. I love the group consciousness with the number 9 specifically. Um, I love how you kind of connected it to the world events and how things are unfolding. So it is, it is showing up even within the cycles. So even though that's more specific to the number 9, but it's showing that aspect is actually showing up in the world today. So and but that aspect with the group consciousness and getting out there and working in that interdependent as opposed to independent, which is how we are ingrained and
Mhm,
indoctrinated in being so independent. But getting in that space of interdependence and working in groups and
mhm,
having the behavioral flexibility, because sometimes it's not easy working with other personality types and working with other people, but it's just being open and sometimes even just stepping back and being the observer and just processing what other people's perspectives and suggestions and opinions, right?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The big one in my stories were asking for help.
Mm.
That was
Well,
something that I never ever wanted
yep.
to ask for, but it's like, you know what? You accomplish it a lot faster if you ask for help.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, and that's
That was
part
a hard one. That's still a hard one for me. That's still a one that I'm working on is asking for help. It's
I
gotten
think,
easier over the years, but it's not an easy one for me to do.
and you could even attribute that to the part of the number 9 that is the catalyst of love, right? The
Mm.
heart, getting into the heart of
Hard.
things, asking for help so that you could stay centered. Um, is a big part of number 9. So,
Mm,
having that unconditional love for yourself, not to stress yourself out, but asking for help.
that's right. Beautiful. It's a beautiful year that we're in, and
It is.
and so it'll be being able to use this in your knowing the vibrational aspects and the cycle,
Hmm.
of the number, and being able to incorporate that in your day-to-day life. It really does make a difference. It really, really does make a difference. And for somebody like myself that really likes to use tools and likes to use different strategies and things like that, I found that. And if you are a strategic person that likes to try different things and use different tools and strategies, um, I found that numerology in so many different levels has been a really, really, really great tool for that specifically.
Hmm.
So
I love, like, as much as I dabble into astrology, I love numbers. I've always loved numbers. I've always been, I never wanted to do word crossword puzzles, but I did do Sudoku, and I always loved figuring out, and, just looking at the numbers like I did with the 2025 and the different numbers. I just like doing all kinds of different things with it. I don't know. That's
beautiful. Beautiful. So,
great.
I don't know, any questions?
Does Scott have any questions
Questions?
for us tonight?
Mhm.
Sorry, it takes me forever to unmute. No, I'm good. I'm good. I having Maria as my partner, we discuss numbers like all the time. So there's
Yeah.
always a number in my life that pops up. I'm like, hey, what's this number all about? What's this number about?
And, it's pretty funny because I told Maria she used to always message me and say, well, so what does this number mean and what does this mean? And I and then finally I said 2 years ago to her, what do you think it means? Because
Exactly.
you have the wisdom just like anybody else. You have the knowledge.
Mhm.
And so using that knowledge, the only thing that using that knowledge does is you're practicing it, and you're, ingraining it. So the more you practice what the numbers mean, the more you ingrain it in your own,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. Anyway,
Exactly. Beautiful.
so that was awesome for our first
Yeah.
Zoom, and we'll get those loaded onto our YouTube and onto our Facebook page. And
Yeah. Perfect. And do you have the date for our next one? So
our
we
next one we put down as February 24th.
perfect.
They're
So
always going to be on Monday nights. They're always going to be at 7 p.m. because we felt that it's easier, but we haven't really got into the routine of doing this and broadcasting it, although I did do a Facebook event for it. But still, yeah. Anyways,
perfect. That's excellent. Beautiful. So for anyone that would like to join, I guess we will, when it gets closer to the time and when either of us get a download, we'll figure out what the next topic will be. But it will always be an open discussion. So for anyone that joins us, um, we'll have our Q&A segment, and and then we'll have whatever topic of discussion we'll be discussing will be posted closer to that time.
perfect. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Because it could be from the Facebook page, the Facebook group that we have, that people may post questions that they want, or,
Yeah.
message us or whatnot. And then so the discussion will be posted, yeah, closer to the, maybe a couple weeks to the time.
Beautiful. Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop the recording, but stay on, Maria. Okay, Bye for now, friends.
See you later. Take care.